I love philosophy, which makes me hate when people butcher it.
Wow! It's almost like I just said that 0.1 second prior.
Hey,
So what's the sentence there? I'm sorry. So what's the sentence there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was the sentence there? I'm sorry. What was the sentence there?
A lie was all the psychoanalytic meta you tried doing.
Hold on, the claim. Hold on. I agree when you say it like that. But the initial claim, I'm sorry, I don't think I was done. The initial claim was that a reductio is a proof by contradiction, not that and a reductio are different. That's a different sentence. Just to be clear, when you say the reductio is a proof by contradiction, and we say
let me lost my point.
Balding getting shit canned retard.
Why is it the case you don't want to agree on the moderator?
Look at the fucking thread. I didn't say I don't want to agree on the moderator. I didn't say that.
Why do you not want to agree on the moderator?
I didn't say that. I'm fine with the moderator.
You're obviously trying to avoid the question. If you weren't trying to avoid the question and get clarity on it, you would remember which question you're trying to get clarity on.
Right, so the question here is...
Yes, trivially.
Clarifying
which question are you trying to get clarity on? Do you remember it yet?
Oh, P1's irrelevant? Yes. So yes or no, has P1 been justified?
P2 isn't justified.
Sorry, I'm not asking you if P2 is unjustified. I'm asking you if P1 justified. Is P1 justified? Is P1 justified? Yes or no? 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 I don't know why this one CRAD dude
is God, retard, the set of that entire contingent thing. The totality of all contingent things is what we label as God. It follows in every single possible world that a contingent thing exists. Therefore, in every single possible world, God exists. 1, the enabler of all contingent existences, and 2, a necessary being. Yay! I've analytically justified that God has existed in virtue of what it takes for you to exist, which is your essential property. I'll repeat the argument because maybe you weren't listening the first 3 times I repeated it, retard. I'm going to say there exists in every single possible world an entity in which is reliant on your essential property, meaning a contingent entity exists.
Stop fucking speaking. You have nothing important to add. You're a low IQ retard who can't tie his fucking shoes out of caretaker. Try your best to answer my question. Premise 1, does that contradict the claim that there are no reasons evidence to prove?
Premise 1, does that contradict the claim that there's no reasons to prove what?
Yes or no, you fucking retard, that wasn't complicated. Does premise 1 contradict with there being no reasons proof for evidence?
Does it contradict that there's no reasons proof for evidence? Premise 1. Yeah, of course it does.
How?
Because it literally said, it presupposes it. The only proof capable of being given.
He said he's trying to re-answer for you, and we clarify his answer for you, but you're over-talking him. Not paying attention to the conversation
Look. So I'm going to speak to the chat. If I say that 2 things are equivalent, there's obviously no distinction. This is basic shit.
You didn't say they were equivalent, okay? If you want to say they're equivalent now, I'll take them as
you already did. No, he definitely did.
I can't pinpoint exactly why philosophy means so much to me. Maybe it's the craving to solve the questions that plague my existence. Maybe it's the search for a deeper understanding of human nature and our metaphysical reality. Maybe it's because I've often sat with the thought of my own existence, my purpose. That's what makes it so special. Philosophy is an intergenerational endeavor of humanity to comprehend all that can be. That's what it is for me. Truth. And then there's sophist trash.
So what's the sentence there? I'm sorry, what was the sentence there? I'm sorry, what was the sentence there?
Debate bros, Phil bros, anime debaters, they go by many names, but we all know what they are. One of the clearest historical examples of these types was in Athens when Socrates faced off against the Sophists, professional teachers who trained young Athenians in rhetoric and persuasion. They weren't focused on truth. They wanted to win, to make weak cases seem strong, to own and dunk on their opponents. They saw argumentation as a contest. Winning was the goal, by any means necessary. Twisting words, ambiguous language, rhetorical traps, appeals to emotion, these were the original debate bros. Win, impress, dominate. Some things never change. They're anti-philosophy. That which should be the love of wisdom has been subverted into the pursuit of victory. And that's the great irony. Those who look the most in tune with philosophy, fluent in the language, the systems, every piece of terminology, are actually the greatest deceivers. Because while they appear to know everything about it, they aren't actually engaging in it. The lovers of wisdom are the opposite. They come with an open mind. They listen. They think deeply about the ideas of their opponents. They steelman them. They challenge their own ideology. And most of all, they humble themselves, the very antithesis of debate bros. That's how you spot them. Before we get into everything wrong with them, let's learn how to see the difference. A philosopher wants to understand, to uncover truth. A debate bro wants to win, to look smart, to dunk on their opponent. A philosopher steelmans, listens carefully. A debate bro strawmans, interrupts, twists words, sets traps. A philosopher faces painful truths. A debate bro plays to the crowd. A philosopher admits ignorance. A debate bro is smug and arrogant. A philosopher loves dialogue. A debate bro loves the cheers of a bloodthirsty crowd. I want to be super clear. I'm not just complaining about a bunch of annoying philosophy nerds screaming at each other in Discord rooms. This is about the corruption of philosophy. Yeah, they're annoying as hell, but these guys aren't just wasting time, they're poisoning philosophy to the public eye. They make it look horrible. Even Socrates was accused of being a sophist simply because those frauds had already tainted philosophy's reputation. I'm not making this video just because I'm annoyed. I'm making it because I want to defend philosophy from these basement dwellers. The most dangerous sophists aren't the ones who are obviously clowns. It's the ones who sound the most like philosophers. They know the terms, the names, the systems, the jargon. They'll cite Kant, Hegel, Nietzsche, but all that knowledge is just a mask. They wield it to feed their ego. I want you to really see the difference. I need to come clean. I don't have autism. So when I hear this, it means nothing to me.
To exist, you don't have to be contingent. You could just be an uncaused existence, which is completely fine. That doesn't fit under my criteria of God, the divinity.
This is probably the biggest reason I hate online philosophy. Unsubstantive, bloated language. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Seriously, about 90% of this jargon is just used to sound smart. It's not informative. And this is where we can clearly see the ego in Phil bros. They love talking really fast, spitting out words they think most people won't understand. It's like some secret language only they know. And if you don't get it, you're automatically stupid. Even ignoring all the insults and stuttering Infinity throws around here, his phrasing is still way too verbose. He could have made the same point in 2 sentences that he dragged out for about 2 minutes. He literally could have just said, a brute contingency is contradictory. If something is contingent, it has an explanation. If it has no explanations, it isn't contingent but brute existence. The universe exists and has essential properties, so it's contingent on God. That's it. Clean, simple, done. But no, instead he has to run his stupid mouth at the speed of light just to sound like a proper debate bro.
I'll repeat the argument because maybe you weren't listening the first 3 times I repeated it, retard. I'm going to say there exists in every single possible world an entity in which is reliant on their essential property, meaning a contingent entity exists. Analytically, this has to be true. The essential property is going to be reliant on another essential property, which creates a system of essential properties being reliant on other essential properties. That totality of all contingent things is what we define as God, because that totality cannot be contingent itself.
This guy is actually painful to listen to. I've replayed him over and over just to try and figure out what the hell he's saying. He insists on making it way harder than it needs to be, as sophists do. Anyway, here's what he's really saying once you strip out all the bloated crap. Number 1, in every possible world, contingent things exist. Wow, who would have guessed? Number 2, those essential properties depend on further properties, creating a chain. Number 3, the totality of all contingent things cannot itself be contingent. Number 4, therefore the totality must be necessary. Number 5, that necessary totality is what we call God. And the craziest thing is, even these 5 simple lines could take minutes, if not hours, to unpack. And yet Infinity wastes minutes upon minutes on trying to overcomplicate those 5 lines, just so he can dunk on divinity for not understanding. This is just blasphemy against philosophy.
But that question in particular, right, when I'm saying if X is true, then would it be the case of Y follows? That's not an argument, right? You can say that the content of the question is motivated a separate argument, or rather an argument which is separate from the question, but it doesn't follow from the content of the question motivating something which is separate from that question, which is an argument, that it is the case that the question in itself has premises, which would make it an argument. That's absolutely moronic. It is the case that for anything which has premises, it is the case that it is an argument. And we both agree that questions are not arguments. So what are you even talking about?
Are you tracking it all? I'm saying your question contains
I'm
an
tracking
argument.
you.
Your question
Actually,
is the argument, retard.
You literally said the question had premises, correct?
There are premises of your argument in the question, yes.
You said so now you're saying that there's questions. Okay, now you're saying
Now I'm saying this? I've been saying this. You're stumbling over yourself because you know you're being retarded.
Switched up, buddy. Look at this.
There's no switch up. You're retarded.
Yes, it is. I'm going to point out this trip up, okay? You said originally that it is the case that the question itself contains premises. That question contains premises. Now you're saying the question contains information, which happens to be something which motivates premises of an argument, which is separate from the question.
I
It's
didn't say
different types. Holy shit.
So what I just said, I'll say it again, is that what I said, and I'll say it again, is that your question contains an argument, and that argument has premises, and so your question contains premises of that argument.
Okay, so you understand that when you say the question contains premises, you're indirectly saying that there's something within that specific question which supports a given proposition. And so if the question is not propositional, then it makes absolutely no sense to claim that this thing contains premises. Yeah, it's absolutely retarded. So you can say,
I'll just give you an example.
So if you couldn't tell, and honestly I wouldn't blame you, they're arguing about whether a question can contain an argument or not. Apollo is claiming that questions don't have premises, and Synth is claiming that questions can contain premises. To clear this up, premises are statements that support a conclusion. Questions are requests for information. So yes, a question can include statements inside of it, but because Synth and Apollo are both talking a mile a minute and insulting each other every other breath, they're just talking past each other and escalating with harsher words. This isn't dialogue, it's rhetoric. So to anyone watching this not getting what they're talking about, don't worry, you're not missing much, because they're not really talking about anything. And just so you know how bad this crap gets, they keep arguing about this one meta subject for another 20 minutes. I'm not kidding.
Okay, go ahead and tell me the question that I'm going to ask.
I don't know why you tried to be rhetorical.
Go ahead and tell me the question that I was going to ask.
Secondly, right?
Yeah, here comes the yap to avoid the fucking question. You're not doing well right now.
Even if you can call it yap.
Drop the little rhetorical strategy. Try and have a conversation with me like a normal person. This is what makes you bomb conversations.
I know you want to believe.
I'm going to give you a moment to see the problem with this clip. Have you noticed what's brought this debate to a grinding halt? Is it A, Kojo respectfully asking a clarifying question? B, Bunk kindly explaining his position to Kojo? Or C, both of them having a nuclear meltdown over who gets to be the dominant voice in the room? At this point, it doesn't even matter what they're discussing, because we can't actually hear the content. Bunk is busy calling Kay stupid and insulting him. Meanwhile, Kay is trying to fake this calm, collected demeanor, like he's the mature one here. But he's still over-talking Bunk to get the upper hand. Both of them have big egos, and because they're performing, not seeking truth, neither one is going to back down. To back down is to look weak, and weakness is not tolerated in the arena. This isn't philosophy, it's sophistry.
Well, I'm going to be presenting deductive evidence, so I'm going to be appealing to the abductive case or higher order claim that I'm making about the analytic predicates that are entailed by my deductive argument. Can you repeat what I just said and demonstrate you have a coherent understanding of it?
Yeah, you're going to say that literally the premise, the conclusion will be guaranteed by the premises, but an argument doesn't prove anything other than the argument.
Sorry, so that's not what I said, you beautiful slow boy. What I need you to do is put on your tracking goggles and try to track in a linear fashion this time.
This might be the greatest example of a Philbro trying to one-up someone in the debate. Just rambling off a string of overly complex words, then demanding they be repeated, all for the singular purpose of dunking on his opponent. No argument, no substance, pure ego. It's blatantly obvious he's not trying to convince Peterson of anything. He's just another Philbro. And the way Peterson handled him is the correct and healthy response to people like this. This behavior is exactly why conversations with Philbros never go anywhere. They don't end in anything substantive or definitive. I want to highlight this one last example of a bad faith actor. This one guy named Kay.
I was saying, I think that it's prima facie wrong to kill humans. However, in the context of abortion, I think that there's overruling reasons of the two criteria in which I granted. Of one, there's a rights violation upon another's bodily autonomy, and two, the fetus doesn't fulfill the criteria.
Right, but that's not
of a flow predicated on past or present.
Sure, right, but that's not really going to capture the question that I'm asking, or rather, it's not going to elucidate to me.
So then maybe I just don't understand the question that you're asking.
I know, yeah, that's been made very clear. But look, maybe let me just make the question more.
Bullshit. I'm actually just here for a good faith discussion.
Don't crash out on me. Just just calm down, buddy.
Wait,
okay?
I'm not. Wait,
So,
seriously, I'm not
secondly,
crashing out. I'm just trying to be real.
this is like the beginning of a crashing out. I can hear it in your tone. Okay. Now,
Dude,
secondly, right? So, secondly, and if you don't like my comments, then just suck it up. I don't know what to tell you. So, secondly,
Dude, it's just
right?
like lame, bro. Like I swear, I'm like actually here to like further refine my view.
So am I.
Could you one moment? I'm like here to like further refine my view, to have like a decent conversation.
Yeah, we're having a decent conversation.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be a more decent conversation if we do it like.
I feel like it would be a
comments.
more productive conversation if we spent less time talking about the conversation and talking about the facts about the conversation. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, and I think that we could like have that more productive.
Right, so let's do that.
conversation without the snarky comments. Because in absence of the snarky comments, then I obviously want to take a detour.
Well, you know, that's usually how debates go. Like people make.
Let's just chill on the meta because Sam doesn't want to have to model the conversations.
Right.
Get back into substance.
Yeah, let's get back to the substance. That was like an entirely useless dialogue tree. But the point is that, anyways, so back to.
No, like just as useless as the insult. If we can agree on that, like.
He's some TikTok debater who leans to the right. He's pro-life from what I can tell, but besides that, I don't know much about his other views, even though I've seen a few of his debates. Honestly, I'm still not clear on what exactly he believes, since most of the time he just critiques and insults his opponents. And the few times I have actually heard him talk about his own positions, he just rambles on without clearly or directly articulating his beliefs. He might disagree, but he's wrong. Anyway, he sucks. Like, just go watch a few of his debates.
I'm really glad that you think that was.
You're obviously trying to avoid the question. If you weren't trying to avoid the question, actually get clarity on it, you would remember which question you're trying to get clarity on.
Totally. Right. So the question here is
yes, trivially.
Right. Which
question are you trying to get clarity on? Do you remember it yet?
He's so condescending and passive-aggressive throughout, presenting this fake, chill, stoic tone like he's the one in control. But if you actually watch him for a while, you'll notice he slips in jabs before quickly pivoting back to the argument so his opponent can't reply. I don't like this guy because he acts like a bitch he acts. He's the type of guy who holds some tiny mistake you made years ago over your head. In this conversation with Dean, yes, Dean, the leftist TikToker golden boy, Kay constantly throws in passive-aggressive jabs without being provoked. Now, I want to be fair. I've seen Dean be passive-aggressive in debates too, but he didn't bring that energy here. Only Kay did. And in terms of optics, this looks horrible for Kay. Kay and I probably agree on way more than I do with Dean, but judging from this conversation alone, from an outsider's perspective, Kay looks totally bad faith, while Dean comes across as someone genuinely trying to learn something. And even if Dean is coming at this in bad faith, it doesn't look that way. In terms of optics, Dean is stomping Kay, and it's because Kay looks like a jealous, butthurt, less popular peer.
The words that you used were a normative view and a normative framework. And I said, I don't see any real substantive distinction between those two things.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I use the phrase normative framework interchangeably with normative theory and the term normative view interchangeably with normative claim. So I'm glad that I could clear that up.
Well, I don't think claims are views, okay? So there's a difference between what a claim is and what a view is. I'm really surprised that you're saying this. This is like a level 1 blunder, right? So what a claim is a declarative sentence about a given state of affairs, okay? And what a view is supposed to be a set of propositions aiming to explain some particular phenomena, right? So to use those terms interchangeably is kind of like, what's the word for it? You're like a little bit confused about basic English, right? Because most people don't use the term claim to refer to something like what a view is, right? Those two things are different.
But dude, okay, really, okay, so like in the last like 15 seconds, I think you called me dumb twice. I think we could do without that. like please relax, bro.
Oh my god, why is Kay such a bitch? Okay, listen to his language. Listen to his tone. The words he's using. We just heard from Dean that he's working through the concepts in real time.
And if you don't like my comments, then just suck it up. I don't know what to tell you. So secondly,
dude, it's just like lame, bro. Like I swear, I'm like actually here to like further refine my view.
So am I.
Could you one moment? I'm like here to like further refine my view, to have like a decent conversation.
And he even admits he isn't exactly sure. This is fucking philosophy, okay? It's not easy stuff. But Kay frames Dean's position on normative views as a level 1 blunder. He's basically saying it's embarrassingly stupid to even say that. Like, yeah, most philosophers do understand the distinction between a view and a claim. Fine. But you don't need to be a piece of correct to people who don't know the technicalities. It would be okay if K was just correcting Dean, but he's not doing that. He's performing dominance. Instead of just clarifying where Dean is wrong, he goes straight for humiliation. K is being a scumbag. He's trying to establish himself as the smarter one by flat out calling Dean stupid. And you want to know the funniest part? Later in this discussion, this exact attitude is going to bite K in the ass.
The best faith answer I could give you is I have no fucking idea, K.
Okay, well, you said you were leaning towards subjectivism, which means that you think that it's more likely that subjectivism is true. So do you have any reasons why you think... Well, it is, because if I say that I'm leaning towards something, like, I'll just give you a very basic example of this, right? If I say that I'm leaning towards chocolate ice cream over vanilla ice cream, what do you think I'm saying about my preferences there?
Like, it's more likely that you like chocolates. Okay, that's fair. You could.
Okay, great. So, what are the reasons why?
Do you mind if I finish speaking real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd say like it's fair to say that I think that subjectivism is like more likely than realism. However,
so that was a concession.
So, I mean, if by concession you mean that I agree with what you're saying, given further clarification.
No, like you conceded the original point that you made, which was that it's not the case that it's more likely that you believe subjectivism is true. You said that's not the case, and now you're saying that it is the case. Yeah. So is that a concession?
Yeah, you could consider that a concession if you want. Like, I don't.
What do you consider it a concession?
Like, if it will progress this conversation, sure. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
This is why K sucks. He doesn't even care about the conversation. Dean is literally trying to clarify his position on metaethics, and K, being K, sees it as an opportunity to score points. Dean is basically saying he doesn't fully understand philosophy yet and wants to learn more. And honestly, even if Dean is lying, it doesn't matter. It still makes K look awful. Dean says he leans towards subjectivism but isn't certain. K takes this as Dean conceding, like he was lying or flip-flopping. K tries to force this into a concession. He wants to win so badly that he'll literally take anything he can get. Bro is so fucking thirsty, like why? Then Dean says, if it will progress the convo, I'll just agree to that. This makes K look so terrible. He looks like some immature anime debater who wants the W at any cost, while Dean looks like he's actually trying to philosophize.
The last time, okay, I'm not gonna argue with you about that. So Dean, the big TikToker, right, the guy that everybody glazes, right, here he is caught in Samantha's live saying that the reason why his view is justified is because it's justified. Right now, if anybody knows, just calm down, right?
Well, I think
you didn't give us, just calm down, just relax. I don't know why you're trying to cut in all of a sudden, right?
Because I think that you're misrepresenting my view.
Well, that's fine. You can tell me the misrepresentation after I'm done, right? So anyways, the point is that this is like a really super fucking low tier response. Like nobody would expect this. Actually, I did expect that from you because you're fucking low tier, right? That's not how justification works, right? So first you have to have a concept of what justification is in the first place, what you take justification to be, and how it is the case that given the relevant facts about the case, right, that it is the case that it's justified, okay? So you have to actually explain how your view is justified. You can't just say that your view is justified and that's just that, right? Otherwise, what you're doing there is that you're begging the question, right? You're assuming the truth of the justification instead of actually demonstrating to the class how it is the case that your view is in fact justified. So once again, how is it the case that that view that you presented provides a justification for the moral permissibility of abortion?
For sure. I mean, I already answered this once, and if you were focused on the good faith conversation, maybe you would have heard me the first time. I honestly, Kay, I don't think that you're focused on the good faith conversation.
The funniest part of this clip is that Kay is actually right with what he's saying. You can't justify claims by just reasserting them. Premises require evidence, and intuition is weak evidence. So yeah, Dean doesn't have a strong claim. You have to actually explain justification. But then Kay takes the W and just drop kicks it. Bro was literally winning, and then he had to ad hom Dean over and over, poisoning the well for no reason. He swatted away the win for his ego. Now he looks like the villain. It makes him look like a sophist. Sure, it's entertaining for people who want blood, but it drives away anyone who's here for good faith, truth-seeking philosophy.
No fucking clue what you just said.
Have you done any reading on axiology at all?
None.
Have you done any reading on value theory?
Nope.
Have you read anything about normative ethics?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you understand the connection between normative properties and axiology?
Oh, well, no, because I haven't done any read on axiology.
Okay, so there's some normative systems, okay? I'm like about to give you a free education. This is fucking pathetic, right? So there's some normative systems, for example, right?
Me being good.
Where, like, say for example, that you're, let's say that you're a deontologist, for example, right?
Let me ask you why you think that's pathetic.
Well, it's pathetic because you're talking about things that you haven't read anything about.
No. K is the pathetic one here. Honestly, if Dean's strategy was to lead K down a pathway of saying all this arrogant shit, then bro is like some crazy mastermind strategist. Because K is revealing some horrendously ugly things about his own character. K is calling Dean pathetic for not understanding gnomic and causal relations, for not understanding ethics entirely, for having only a vague grasp of the theory of value and its definitions. Like, dude, these are hard philosophical questions. I really want everyone to go watch this debate between the two of them and make your own analysis of their discourse up to this point, because K's behavior is just atrocious. He's name-calling, belittling Dean, and acting like these are easy or basic questions when in reality that's straight-up gaslighting. Many philosophers disagree on almost all of these topics and definitions, but here's the precedence K is setting. He acts like a total asshole toward anyone who knows less than him in a specific field. He's a bully. Yeah, sure, he knows some philosophy well enough, but I guarantee you he's naive and incompetent in plenty of other areas of life. Does he know how to build an engine, set up plumbing in a house, explain nuclear fission? And if he can't answer those questions, does that mean I get to call him stupid, incompetent, or pathetic? Because that's his character, belittling people who know less than him, and philosophically strangling them for his own ego. And then Dean takes the kill shot. He tests K's fucked up logic.
Okay, let's get back. Let's focus on the substance.
Wait,
okay?
real quick.
So the substance.
No. I just have a question for Samantha. Samantha, do you know what a gnomic relation is?
Samantha doesn't read philosophy.
Okay.
To be fair, though, however, Dean, Samantha just started debating like a month ago.
But I'd like to clarify, Kay, do you think that Samantha's pathetic and should end her life since she doesn't know what she's talking about?
No, nobody said anything about ending lives.
Well, I mean, obviously you told me that I shouldn't be talking about these things until I know what a gnomic relation is, so it would like follow that.
Can you quote me when I said that?
Well, for sure you told me that I didn't know what I was talking about. I shouldn't be talking about these things, yeah.
When did I say that?
Yeah, like 2 sentences ago, 2 breaths.
No, so the sentence that I said, it's like you're not only failing to track the substance, but you're also failing to track the rhetorical points that I'm making as well, right?
So to be clear, Kay didn't say that Dean couldn't talk about the topic. What he did say was that it's pathetic Dean didn't know about gnomic and causal relations, values, and axiology. So what Kay actually finds pathetic is simply not knowing. Which means this: if Kay's consistent, then he believes that anyone talking about abortion without knowing those concepts is also pathetic. And extending his logic would mean that Kay also thinks Samantha is pathetic. So Dean is right.
So the claim that I made specifically was that you're talking about something that you don't know about. I never said that you shouldn't talk about it.
Do you think that Samantha is too?
Did I say that word, right? But you're focusing on the meta right now, and that's the only place where you're safe because you don't know how to engage with the substance.
Do you also think that Samantha?
So whether I'm not gonna engage in the. I'm not. Look, Dean, why do you keep trying to?
Kay, being the little weasel he is, tries to backtrack so he doesn't end up disrespecting Samantha. But Dean perfectly reflects Kay's logic back at him, showing that everything Kay criticized Dean for, he'd have to say about Samantha too. And Kay immediately backpedals when he realizes where Dean's taking it. But it's too late. The hypocrisy is right there. Kay only applies his criticism to people he doesn't like. He's not principled. He just arbitrarily applies his pathetic label based on his feelings. And then Kay runs.
But you're focusing on the meta right now, and that's the only place where you're safe because you don't know how to engage with substance.
Do you also think that Samantha?
So whether I'm not gonna engage in the. I'm not. Look, Dean, why do you keep trying to obfuscate into meta? This is complete meta. The line of questioning that you're going, the line of questioning that you're going down,
this is not meta.
Literally meta.
This is not meta at all.
It is meta. It's entirely meta.
So the
right?
reason
So
why
instead of going on the meta route,
I can
right,
offer you a defense.
you're trying to pivot. You're pivoting away.
No, you're the one that told me I didn't know what I was talking about.
You're pivoting away from the relevant conversation.
I think that you just don't appreciate the pushback.
Why are you pivoting away?
I'm not pivoting away. I'm simply just
okay. So then let's get back to the actual substance.
I don't know
right?
what I'm talking about.
Okay, so back to the substance, right? Back to the substance of the conversation. Okay, so
this is another thing that just cracks me up. It's little moments like this that expose how much of a sophist K really is. He whips out big words at every opportunity to make himself sound smarter, to gatekeep philosophy and debate. Like whenever he says axiology, which he does several times in this debate.
If your axiology, right, is such that it entails either one, a modal issue, right, or two,
all that means is value or belief. That's it. But this guy can't resist flexing with big words to obfuscate and make it harder for his opponent to respond.
Axiology.
He loves the sound of his own voice rolling out those terms. Pure fucking ego. Then Kay just laughs at Dean for like 30 straight seconds because Dean stuttered and said the wrong word.
Do you know the difference between a theory and a definition?
Do I know the difference between a theory
and
maybe like a therapy?
A therapy?
Wait, you could define a theory?
Why are we talking about therapy now?
Okay, so like now you're interrupting me as when I said theory. Do I know the difference between theory and definition? So I mean, I think that you could have a theory of something, like theories explain. Maybe definitions have to do with meaning. Theories explain. Maybe those are like trivial differences.
Okay, so
Kay is such a bitch, dude. And I'll close with Dean's closing statement in this video. He makes some solid points about how this conversation went about Kay's character overall. Let me be clear, I don't even like Dean. Honestly, I barely know anything about him or his philosophical views. I know he's a leftist, but that's about it. But here's what I have to admit. In this convo, he was way more good faith than whatever the fuck Kay was spewing.
First and foremost, I'd say it's like generally challenging to be more arrogant than I am. And somehow you've satisfied those criterias. You get a gold fucking star. Second point, you said it was embarrassing that I don't understand gnomic relations. Please touch grass, and anybody watching that agrees with him, please take a shower. And you told me that I shouldn't be debating abortion because I don't understand gnomic relations and causal relations between an agent and a normative claim as it relates to my axiology. I would also recommend you say the same thing to Samantha. You should probably tell her to end her live. I'd recommend you say the same thing to Lit, and probably everybody watching this live too. You know what I mean? I think that it's quite preposterous to say that should I be talking about abortions if I don't understand gnomic relations and causal relations dependent upon my value theory and normative claim and an individual. At that point, basically, I think you should go and coup the government and implement a anti-free speech regime where nobody could talk about anything, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that these theories can relate to more things than just our normative frameworks. I bet there's also very extensive and exhaustive philosophy underpinning even just the common usage of language. And I don't know, maybe people that use language don't understand and fully acknowledge the literature and exhaustive theories of language in which underpin it. So maybe everybody should just stop speaking as well, right? So I don't know.
Dean was right. Kay is just gatekeeping debate and philosophy from people who haven't read as much as him. He thinks he's the judge, the arbiter of who gets to speak. He calls anyone who doesn't know what he considers the basics pathetic. He labels their opinions pathetic. And yeah, Kay's followers will keep praising him for dunking on and destroying Dean and every other pro-choicer out there, and also anyone who just disagrees with him. But for those who actually care about principled reasoning and logic, this is what bad faith looks like. And it's not just Kay. There are hundreds of Philbros out there similar to him. Some better, some worse. Some of them have the same behavior. These guys are the biggest offenders. Hell, I'd even say blasphemers of philosophy. They love endlessly redefining and nitpicking terms, never resolving anything. They recycle old problems and debate them just for fun. I've even seen tons of them say shit like, okay, what position do you want to take? I'll just take the other side. Oh, you're pro-choice? Cool, I'll do pro-life. They don't even care about seeking the truth. It's literally just a sport to them. And look, there's not anything inherently wrong with that, but I just don't want people to be confused with those who enjoy the philosophical blood sport with those who are actually in the pursuit of what's true. Phil bros want to seem aesthetic. They'll drop dramatic tones, deep voices, philosophical jargon, and vague concepts. They inflate words like truth, reality, and existence until they mean absolutely nothing. They use questions to flex, not to explore. They use doubt to derail, not to inquire. Questions get framed as ignorance. Clarity gets dismissed as simplistic. Esoteric language gets used to slip out of criticism. And complex concepts are just props to look cool. I don't hate online philosophy. There are lots of good actors in these communities, but I do hate sophists and scammers. They need to be called out. I don't think Philbros are irredeemable, but their behavior reflects a rotten part of their character. They need to do better. Right now, they're dominated by ego, and that's not just unhealthy for the people they debate. It's unhealthy for them, and more than anyone else, they will suffer for it.